Hi, welcome to, I think, week 7 of this mini series, where I hope you're learning some more about how our mind and body are connected, how movement embodiment is so good for us. And today's topic is super huge, super juicy. And ironically, when I started thinking about it, um, my brain went in so many directions. Um, so, first of all, it's about creativity, right? And how the title is Think Differently, how we can think differently, and how embodiment and movement and conscious dance can help us access these amazing light bulb moments. So, okay, we don't have to start dancing to have an idea for a project. You're not all going to go into a meeting and start dancing and shuffling and then sit down and have a brainstorm, right? Although it would actually be a really good idea. I think uh, so much fresh insight, activity. Can you imagine the energy that's activated when everyone just starts moving, shaking off all the tension, shaking off whatever's going on for them, and then sit down and work something out? Or before you do that yourself, if you're really stuck, get up, move around, sit down, you're going to have fresh energy, right? So when we start to think differently, we can do it. uh, when you think about when we go on holiday or when we go somewhere different, when we switch up our surroundings, when we even take a different route that we would normally take, when we do something a bit different, it activates different parts of our brain. Our brain's going, hold on a sec, I don't recognize this. What's going on? And it has to formulate new pathways. That activates our brain cells and activates our neural networks. Now, we can also be more creative when we think, when actually we just daydream. I was a big daydreamer as a kid, and daydreaming is not recognized enough. It's kind of seen as you're just going off into space. You're not focusing. You're not concentrating. But actually, when we daydream, that's when we can often get the most incredible and creative insights. Now, when we are daydreaming, just going off on a tangent, that actually means that our brain, rather than working on something specific, it actually goes to our default network. And our default network is when we sort of let the sort of part of our brain that works really hard sort of off the hook a bit, so that we can just sit back a bit. It's like we can sit back and then let other parts of our brain come into play. It silences our overthinking and it silences our self criticism. Now, when we move and we move in more creative ways, what it actually does is it harmonizes the two sides of our brain. So we have our left and our right hemispheres of our brain. When we move in creative ways, it not only harmonizes the two hemispheres of our brain, it also strengthens the networks between them. And so, I've lost my train of thought now. This helps, for example, when we learn languages. When we have to, I always use the analogy of when I first got a sat nav. The minute I started using my sat nav, I used to use the maps all the time. I've driven across Europe by myself, just map reading, and I realized when I got a sat nav, parts of my brain just kind of just died. They switched off. It's like I was very good at maths as a child, like incredibly good. I had an A level in maths, but actually now that part of my brain is just not the same anymore. But if we only use one aspect of our brain, then that causes an imbalance with the other side of our brain, right? So when we are moving and dancing, now when it's somatic movement and somatic awareness, which is very synonymous with trauma work, because with somatic work we really deep dive into ourselves, and there's a deep listening going on, a deep listening and sort of like understanding. And this is part of when we go into, for example, sitting meditation. We will often sit and go inward and go inward, and we process all the stuff that's going on for us, right? When this happens, our brain waves drop from the normal beta brainwave state when we're super busy and it has its place. It drops into the alpha and then alpha theta state, where we can start to get into the dreamwave state. Now, when we are in that place of being very internal, that's just one aspect. That's the somatic aspect of work. But when I hold space and when I call it embodied movement and dance, we aren't just isolated within ourselves. Of course, we have to go inward to know what's going on for us, and we have to go inward for our inner work. But we actually live not in isolation. We are connected to everything around us. We're connected to the world. We're connected to people. And so, a big aspect of my work is actually about connecting to the elements. And it's not just my work, this is just kind of part of life. I'm not claiming ownership. We're all connected to the elements. We have the minerals of the rocks, the same minerals that are in our bones. We have the electromagnetic frequency of the earth. This that connects to the frequency we have in our body to calm us down and calm our brainwaves. That's why when the tides go in and out and there's a full moon and the fluids from the tide waves affects the fluids within us and affects our brain activity, which is where Luna comes from for lunatic, right? Luna for the brain, when we're sort of out of sync. So we're very connected to the elements. And when we're moving and dancing, if I guide and then suddenly drop in some moments of symbolism, even when we're out walking in nature, if we're just going for a walk, we walk in nature, we look at trees, we look at flowers, we look at animals. Nature's not linear. Nature is very multi-layered, many beautiful patterns in nature, different colors, different textures. So even visually and of course through all our senses, we sense and feel nature. We smell, we hear, we see, we feel, we touch. And when we are given little insights or nuggets of information, symbols, anything that we're given, for example, if I say to you, this again is something that I did at one time in a session years ago. Someone said to me, imagine if you're going to sink your teeth into a lemon. Can you feel how, when I say those words, you have this image of the lemon, you have this sensation of that sharpness of the lemon? Maybe it hurts your gums even. You feel your body internally sort of reacting. Or perhaps you love the taste of raw lemons and you love that bitter sharpness and your whole body comes alive because it's full of vitamin C and it makes you feel great. So we all have our own internal cues, perspectives, the way we uh, look at life. Luckily, we're also beautifully unique, otherwise the world would be a very dull place. And so when we have these other influences and symbols and other things come in, um, that's why sometimes I hold dance move sessions outdoors, or I've created courses where there are downloadable MP3s and you can put them onto headphones to go outdoors to move. Then you have all these other influences around you that are triggered by little reference points, visual triggers, auditory triggers, triggers from smells. They set off our memories and they set off our brain to go off in whole other different directions again. And so the beauty of moving and dancing when we do this is that we don't actually have to go anywhere. We don't have to jump on a plane or jump in the car or whatever to get some fresh perspective, although that's very nice. We can also go inwards. We can get external cues. We can be guided. And all of this can help us. That's why when we have brainstorming sessions with other people, you feed off other people, all of these different factors and influences. And of course, our body is a whole part of it. The minute we touch something, the minute we feel something, anything will set off activity in our brain that wouldn't necessarily have happened if we were just trying to be still. We're going to get different information that sets our brain off. And so when we are in our bodies, the minute actually we feel we're more comfortable in our bodies, perhaps we're just standing taller, you might suddenly get this image of, oh, I'm actually feeling quite strong and powerful today. You might suddenly get, I don't know, an image of a warrior, Attila the Hun, whoever you look up to, you suddenly get this image. And that's feeling, that concept which becomes an image in your brain, will make your brain go off on whole new tangents of thought. And so whatever you do today, the rest of your day, have a think about what visual cues you're getting, what auditory cues, what tastes, what touch sensations. All of that is going to activate your brain. And you can't experience a lot of these senses without our body. We can't experience them. And then when we move, and we actually very quickly, I'm going to have to do a whole long video on this on YouTube. For example, when we act, so when we're somatic, we might be more passive and wait for things to happen. That's kind of an authentic movement. When we move actively and we perhaps create our own shapes and symbols, that's going to set off a whole new set of train of thought and make your brain expand in different directions. So I hope you enjoyed today's mini session. There is a ebook I've created, mini little ebook on awaken your creativity, with some embodiment exercises to help you get more creative. That's on my website. And I've also created just now for Women's Day tomorrow a little 6-minute meditation if you're super busy, awaken your breath. Which if you'd like that, then drop a yes in the comments and I'll send you the link. That's not on my website yet, but the other one is. So have a great day, and see you soon. Any questions, anything that's come up for you, drop a comment below. Contact me if you'd like more information about this work, which is incredible, which I would love to help you. If you need extra one-to-one support, I would love to help support you with that. I will be launching a new program soon. Otherwise, have a great day, have a great week, and see you soon. Now I can't switch this off. My mouse has gone. Don't you just love live? Just the moment. There you go. My mouse is not working and I can't end this stream. There you go. Hang on. Okay. 12 minutes.